Hey friends, as you know, these talks are improvised, and at the moment with pandemic and lockdown, this is pretty much as close as us improvisers get to actually do our job, which is to improvise. So all these talks are improvised. Today's talk is improvised. The theme for today's talk is a quote from Hassan Isabah, the old man of the mountain, and it is his maxim, actually, which is nothing is true, everything is permitted. Now, I first learnt this through William Burroughs, a fantastic novelist, trailblazer for this idea of the transgressive arts. William Burroughs liked to turn it around and say, everything is permitted because nothing is true. And so what I like to say about that is nothing is true is a nihilist position. And at this point I'd like to name check my good friend, fellow musician and also professor of metaphysical philosophy, James Tartaglia, who wrote a book, Philosophy in a Meaningless Life. And the whole idea of this thing is that, because there's no meaning, there's no definite meaning in life, you can make your own meaning. So let's move on from there. That's our ground. Nothing is true, everything is permitted. Now, if you watch my last video, I talked about transgression in the act of performance. Everything is permitted. What is stopping you? What is stopping me? What is stopping any of us from doing anything we damn well fucking want to do in the event of performance? And the answer is nothing. Nothing is stopping us. And the reason I use the term nothing is because I want to draw attention to this nothing and something that I talked about a couple of videos ago. Nothing is stopping us. This concept of nothing that we have, that is the ideal that, there's this thing that is nothing, is actually stopping us. It's like a brick wall that we find, that we hit up against, and we don't need, it doesn't exist. We don't need it. We can just move through like the wind or like the water around a rock. Nothing is stopping us. If we get past the concept of nothing, it's all plain sailing. Everything is permitted. I don't mean this in social terms. I mean this in creative terms. Nothing is an unnecessary hurdle that we have encountered that has stopped us from realizing our true potential. Everything is permitted. The question is, what are you going to do with it, and why are you doing it? Why are you making music? Why are you making art? What drives you to do that? I have my own answers, but I'm mostly interested in your answers, because your answers are far more interesting to me than my own, because I know my own answers. I make art because I have to. I wake up in the morning. These days I sleep on the floor. It's kind of a personal choice, and it's like a Zen kind of thing, to be honest. I sleep when I'm tired, I wake when I'm awake, and as soon as I'm awake I want to make new stuff in the world. Everything is permitted. Nothing is true. Nothing in the sense that we use it generally. There's no way on earth that there's some big scheme to all of this. We make our own choices, we make our own decisions. When I turn on my piano keyboard, when I go on my laptop and I want to make music, I do it because I need to and I want to. And when I make that music, there's no fucker standing over my shoulder saying you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Fuck that shit. I'm sorry about my profanity here. It's like but it's a very profound point. Fuck that shit. You make what you want to make because it's your work. And nobody, critics, the usual gatekeepers, have the right to tell you that what you've done is wrong. That is the ground from which we will all emerge from this madness that is the pandemic lockdown. If you keep that in mind the next time you make art, you will see the better place to be. Nothing is true, everything is permitted. Hassan Isabah, The Old Man of the Mountains, via William Burroughs, via Nihilism, straight to your doorstep. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you have to do things in a certain way, because your way is your way. Goodbye for now, friends.